So let's talk about Simple Workflow Service. Think of Simple Workflow Service as more of a managed status tracker than a true workflow system. It's not like an ETL tool or a workflow system where you might drag and drop and design flows. It's really just a status tracking system. And with it, you can create some distributed asynchronous systems to help facilitate workflow. It supports both sequential and parallel processing, and it tracks the state of your workflow when you interact with it via an API. And it's generally best suited for human-enabled workflows like an order fulfillment or procedural requests. And AWS recommends that for new applications, you might want to look at step functions over simple workflow. There are two main components to Simple Workflow Service. One is an activity worker, and the other is a decider. The activity worker is a program that you write to do some task or job. And using the AWS Simple Workflow Service API, it interacts with the Simple Workflow Service, updating the status of its tasks. Now, the decider is kind of what you would think. It coordinates the tasks and it decides whether to go down one path or another path. So here's an architecture where we're using Simple Workflow Service. So to start out, we take an order that's a worker process. And then maybe we have an on-prem payment processing gateway that we need to send that order to. Then after the payment step has been successfully completed, it updates SWF, and then that triggers a decider task. In this case, we're trying to decide which warehouse we want to ship the order from, maybe based on proximity to the customer or whether we have it in stock in a warehouse or not. Then finally, once that's decided, we can then trigger the ship order worker. Now I say trigger, it's not really the case. These workers have to poll the Simple Workflow Service. They use a process called long polling. And so these programs that you write using the API will continually check to see if there's any activity that they need to do.